times 100-meter freestyle relay. The world record, of course, held by the fantastic East German women. 3 minutes, 48.80. Here are the lane lineups for tonight. In lane 1 will be Sweden, the Soviet Union in lane 2. The United States will be swimming in lane 3, right next to the East Germans in lane 4.
There's the USPTA team.
Kim Payton will lead. Wendy Boglioli will swim the second 100 meters. Jill Sturkle the third 100 meters. And the anchor woman will be Shirley Babishop.
And I just hope our women are mad enough now that they all swim their personal best, because that's what they'll have to do to be up with the East German team. Cornelia Ender, of course, first, holds a world record 55.65.
There they go. And Ender, with that great start of hers, jumps right out in lane 4. United States second right now in lane 3. Ender of East Germany in the lead. Second is the United States.
Wendy Boglioli. Wendy Boglioli is one of the 3 American women to win medals here. For individual events, Wendy Boglioli was third in the 100 fly.
Ender gave him a length lead. East Germany's in the lead. The United States is second. And third right now in lane 2 is the Soviet Union. Picking up some time here, Wendy Boglioli has picked up on the East Germans. The East Germans still in the lead. The United States second in this 4 times 100 women's freestyle relay. East Germany touches and off they go. Temple coming on now. Babishov spurts out. The United States in the lead for the gold in the 4 times 100 meter freestyle relay. Shirley Babishov stays in front. Here's the drive to the finish. Babishov hanging on, going for the wall. And the United States has upset East Germany. It's been one of the outstanding events. World records have been falling like October leaves here in this pool.
Wendy Boglioli, before the event, told me 2 days ago, I got to get the team up. I'm hungry. I won a bronze. We've got to get together. They were down and they came back. And that's a professional approach.
They're still on their feet roaring for the United States women's relay team. And let's give some credit to Wendy Boglioli, who in the second leg, here are the girls now. Wendy Boglioli did a good job in that second leg.
This is live. We're going to have the award ceremony for the happiest freestyle relay team you've seen in a long time.
Wendy Boglioli.
Wendy Boglioli.
Jill Sturkle.
And how long can you strive for gold before you get it? All week.
Shirley Babishov. Now the national anthem of the Olympic champions country.
Thank you very much. I know, seriously, I see that film like 5 times a week. I do, but I still watch it. I brought my medals, and I'm going to be here after, so in between sessions and that, please feel free to look at them. They are antiques, so they are quite special. It doesn't matter how often I see that, it really doesn't, because it's 38 years ago. And it's in so many ways like it just happened to me. And here I am, 59 years old. I have 3 children. They're all grown and have kids of their own. I'm a grandmother, right? And I still can look at that and go, holy cow. It impacted my life back then, and it has continued to impact my life. That week in Montreal, I'm looking around the room, and I think I'm probably the oldest one here. But Oh, good, there is one other one. Thank God. I go to universities and colleges all over the country and speak, and so having kids be able to relate to that is in some ways kind of difficult because they don't understand there was a Cold War that was going on. They don't understand. They're like, East Germans, like, that's so prejudiced. Why are you calling them East Germans? And I'm like, God, but the film and that race and all of that was just so incredible. And at the end of the day, people walk away and go, God, that really was some kind of a day that you had. I wish every single person in the entire world could have that day. And I don't mean that race. Oh, God, the race was great. No, the race was absolutely great. I mean have a day like that. Because everything in our lives don't always come together. But that night, at that hour, in that race, it did. All we heard that whole week, and actually it was years before, these East German women are so good. They train really, really hard. They're training in the morning, the afternoon, the night. They're lifting weights. They're doing all this stuff. We were doing all of that. We were pretty darn good. Since 1952, our women swimmers, American women swimmers, had never been denied an Olympic gold medal, ever. We were world record holders. We were American record holders. We were the best of the best. And yet that week in Montreal, day one, I saw my teammates, Kim Payton, Jill Sturkle, Shirley Babashoff, not take first, second, and third, but take fourth, fifth, and seventh. And they didn't lose by a tenth of a second. They lost by full body lengths. And all of a sudden, you see that every day, and you step back and go, holy cow. We had heard the rumors that they were on performance-enhancing drugs, but nothing was ever proven. Oh, but Wendy, they were doing drug testing back then. You know what the drug testing back then was? They took a little cotton swab, and it determined if you were male or female. That was the extent of drug testing. And even that, you have to look at those East German women and go. So all week we are like, we're told, oh my God, they're just train harder, they're just better. And we're like, but there's something not right. They're shaving right before they get on the block. There's something wrong. So every day, these women, and I'm a big girl. I'm 6 feet tall, 138 pounds back then. Sinewy, muscle, trained from the time I was 6 years old. No, we were well trained, but every day they were beating us. Every day. On Wednesday, midweek, I swam the 100 butterfly behind 2 East German women, and I got a bronze. I call home. My parents are living in Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. They did not go to the Olympic Games to see that race. So I call home, my mom answers the phone, and she says what she would always kind of do. Oh, that's not that good, but hey, you got a medal. When my mom finally saw the medal after, when I showed it to her, she said, you know, Dolly, it's really nothing more than a very large penny. But my dad said what my dad has always said to me from the time I can ever remember hearing his voice. You are great. He not once ever said, you could be great. You keep working, you will be great. My dad would grab me by the shoulders and he'd say, you are great. As a kid, you hear that long enough, often enough, and you become a believer. That relay team was much more than just 4 individual women that had a goal from the time they were little kids to be really great. And teamwork is so valuable. It's so important, and oftentimes teamwork gets pushed aside because it always becomes about that individual. That's the one that really leads the way, and I get it, because there are incredible leaders. There are. But they are nothing without the team. A relay like that, God, it's so precision. You take off the block 1,000th of a second too fast, and you know what? You could lose the whole relay. You could be disqualified. In the Olympic Games, there are no do-overs. Life, we kind of get a little do-over every now and then, and that's a wonderful thing. Relays are like family. They're like an organization like the PTA. They really are, because when you are part of something big and great, and you stand shoulder to shoulder with people who are so strong and so passionate and so loving and caring and committed and focused. God, when you've got people like that, that's like family. Your organization is family. You are obligated. You are responsible for one another, for the development of what you do as yourself and as an organization. That's a wonderful thing. Corporations, for the majority, can't find that. They want it. They look for it. They'll have all kinds of people doing surveys about it, but you know what? All they have to do is come and sit at a meeting like this, sit in a PTA meeting, and having been a mother of 3 kids, sat in many, that's where I would get inspired. That's where I'm inspired, because whether you are an individual, a team sport, whether you're an organization or a corporation or anything and everything in between, inspiration is driven by the inspiration of people. People. When Pete Carroll, everyone know who Pete Carroll is, right? Poor little unknown man. When he first came to the Seahawks, one of the first, I was at a press conference. I was fortunate enough to go. And this is quite a number of years ago. And one of the things I took away, I write notes wherever I go and hear speakers, and I write down some of these cool things that people say and go, God, that just hits home. One of the things he said, you know what? You need people that need you. The PTA and children all across America have found that in you. And it's a two-way street. You know that. You need them. You are their inspiration. And inspiration, believe you me, right? It doesn't come from this. It really doesn't. These sat for years and years in a shoebox underneath my bed. And they're wonderful. They're great, pretty to look at. People enjoy seeing them, and I'm glad. But the only time I would ever look at them is when my kids would come out, my little girls, and go, Mommy, can we play with your big jewelry today? They were inspired for bling. What can I say? Inspiration comes from what you do in your life. It's not one accomplishment. I never, just because the Olympics was here and gone, that was then. That's almost 40 years ago. I've had to find ways to be inspired by other people, because that is what inspiration is driven from and for and toward. It doesn't end with the sessions that you go to today. You're here, and I applaud that, because you have this incredible opportunity to share with one another, to grow, to continue to grow, to never stop learning. The people that you inspire besides one another by being and holding hands through this journey that is life doesn't just end now. The people that you inspire, those little kids, oh my God, teachers and staff, right? PTA members, the ones that you really do inspire are the little kids and the young men and women that look to you and know that you don't stop learning, that you haven't just stopped growing as a human being. That's where you get your inspiration. That's how you inspire people, by never giving up. And it doesn't end with one success or two success. It's just always, always going until the very last breath you take. You want to inspire people to be better, to do better. Great moments are born from opportunities. And notice I didn't say great opportunities. Are there such things as great opportunities? I don't know. I don't think that I was ever really fortunate to have a great opportunity. I had opportunities that other people looked at and went, won't bother with that. That's too hard. Can't do that. That road's too long. That'll take too long. I grew up in this town of 600 people in Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. My great Olympic coaches were my mom and my dad. My big swimming team that I trained with till I was 18 was my younger sister. It was her and me. Oh, you need a big pool. I had a 17-yard-long hotel pool with no lane lines. And my father one day surprised my sister. He kept us out of the pool over the weekend, and when we came back on Monday morning to train at 5:30 in the morning, there were black lines on the bottom of the pool. She can never make the Olympic team is what I'd hear from people in the town. Friends that I thought were my friends, can't be done. Because you need to be in Florida, you need to be in California, you need to have the best of the best of the best, because that's how you get to be great. My parents found opportunity in a little lake by our house, a mile from our home. And my father and I, every May, because in the winter he would make a brand new wooden starting block, and he and I in May would go out into the lake and he would pound that thing in. And he'd make these lane lines over the course of the winter, little pegs, little wooden pegs, and my mother had the clothesline, and we would put that, thread that through, and he would put those in the lake every May. My father used to follow me around in a rowboat. Wendy, you can't do that. You gotta be from somewhere else. Parents don't coach Olympians. My folks did. I believed. Think I was inspired? I was inspired every day by these two ordinary, hard-working, Midwestern parents who became extraordinary parents, who became extraordinary coaches. God, I've been inspired every day since. My father's been dead for 33 years. That will not go away. Inspiration isn't just that day. People used to say to me, and I still get it once in a while, God, Wendy, the Olympics really made you. You're really lucky. It really made you who you are. And in my head, that little bubble comes out and goes, no, it didn't make me. I made the Olympics. I stood up on that podium, and when I watched that all those years ago, I don't think about how great we all swam, and we did. It was outrageous what we did that night and accomplished as a team. But I also look back at the team that I was so fortunate ultimately to have in my family and in this little community that I had too, of the teachers, honestly, that would tell me, God, Wendy, you're so dedicated, you're so good. My mom was president of the PTA for 4 years. She had 7 kids. 7 kids she had. 7 in 9 years, I might add. Busy gal. And she found time for it. That is what inspired me. Every day, I stood on that block and heard that national anthem play for something we did in the water that was great. But when I stood on that block and they put that medal around my neck, and we heard that national anthem play for the first time all week long, I thought of every single Christmas day I trained in the pool. I thought of every birthday, every Easter, every day. Twice a day, I thought of 5:30 a.m. workouts and 7 o'clock workouts. I thought of every single time that I had with my parents that I never would have had I not swam. People call those little moments, don't matter. Small moments, they don't matter. The big moments, that one matters. That Olympic, that matters. No. Small moments. People miss them all the time. My kids oftentimes will say to me, Mom, I'm going to get that. I'm up for that next promotion. I'm up for that big job. And in the meantime, I tell them, you are missing it. You are missing it. In your lives, don't miss those days, those opportunities. They're out there when everybody else may say they can't be done. You always strive to be better today and tomorrow and the next day until you have no more breath in your lungs. You inspire people. Don't forget how great you are. Remember, the greatest inspiration of all is what you keep doing. That is inspiring. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you having me here. Thank you so much. Thank you.